China used to deny that these places exist. But now we're being given a tour. The message? These are schools, not prisons.
他们受到一定的极端思想感染以后，为了就是把自己思想里面的极端思想的感染程度去除。
But the more we ask, have you been convicted of a crime?
我没有犯罪，我就是犯的错。
How often are you able to pray here?
国家法律规定，学校公共场所，公共场所不能从事宗教活动。
The more evidence we try to gather of our own, the more questions there are. As hundreds of thousands of Muslims disappear into giant secure facilities, China has begun taking a few selected journalists inside. This is what it wants the world to see. Offered up as proof that these are not prisoners, but students. Willingly being guided away from extremism. Is it your choice to be here?
是您自己选择过来的吗？
就是，我以前因非法法律意识淡薄，被感染了极端主义和恐怖主义思想的影响。村委会的孙经发现，他对我说：“这么好的学校，你可以去参加，转化自己的思想。”
Always in the background, government officials watch over every interview. And this is how thoughts are transformed. Long hours of rote learning Chinese. The study of China's tightening restrictions on religion. And the replacing of faith and cultural identity with a different loyalty. I love the Communist Party of China, this man has written. These are places where adults wear uniforms and where they don't go home at the end of the day, but sleep up to 10 a room, sharing a toilet, with no idea how many months or years it will be before they can return to their families. If they don't want to come, then what happens?
这个我没碰见过，但是我们会积极引导他。
It isn't a place where people have to come, obey the rules, stay until you allow them to leave. Sound more like a prison, even if it's a prison in which you can do some art.
你指的监狱是这个地方，你觉得这监狱有画画的监狱吗？我不知道你说的监狱是什么样的监狱，这我们这儿确确实实就是一个培训中心。
I think a definition of a prison isn't about what happens inside.
这个画画只是他的一部分。
It's whether you can leave or not.
这是他自己选择的一部分，但主要还是通过学习国语、学习法律、学技能，通过这个来完成。
In one building, we find some graffiti. "Oh, my heart, don't break," it says. We've distorted the image to protect whoever wrote it. Over the past few years, a vast network of high-security facilities has been built across China's western region of Xinjiang, surrounded by high walls, barbed wire, and watchtowers. But in some of the places we're being taken to, the satellite images show that the internal security fencing and what look like watchtowers were taken down shortly before the tours for journalists began. And empty exercise yards have been transformed into sports facilities, on full display when we visit. But if these are show camps, what might that say about the places we're not given access to? With their watchtowers and barbed wire still in place, they look much less like schools. And we're much less welcome. Xinjiang has experienced outbreaks of separatist violence. But now it seems Islam itself is under suspicion. And the Uyghurs, the Kazakhs and other Muslim minorities are being swept up for the mildest of beliefs and behaviours. Rakima Senbei spent over a year in the Chinese camp system just for having WhatsApp on her phone. She was released in December and now lives in Kazakhstan.
Соны ашу арқылы, бұны жинау арқылы, адамдарды жинау арқылы жаңа дінді жойды, одан бұрынғы ата бабасынан тартып қолданып келатқан салт дәстүрін құртты.
When you see the pictures that China is showing the world of happy Muslims studying hard, dancing even inside these facilities that they call schools, what do you think?
Ол жақсы деп жіберетіні, бұлар бізге алдын ала айтады, өйткені ондайды өзіміз өткіздік, мен өзім өткіздім басымнан сол лагерьде жатқан кезде, егер қай-қайсың аузыңнан шығатын болса, сендер бұдан да қиын жерге кетесіңдер деп алдын ала келіп ескертеді. Сол себепті жаңағы о жердегілердің бәрі қорқады да, солардың айтқаны бойынша істейді. Енді далада билеп, ән айтып деген сияқты.
What, one wonders, might these people have been told by the officials ahead of our visit? Then they switch from Uyghur, their mother tongue, to Chinese lyrics, written by President Xi Jinping. They've been convicted of no crime, faced no trial. But we're told China now believes it can determine their guilt in advance.
有些人他没有去杀人的时候，但他已经表现出一种特征，很可能这个人，在过几个星期他去杀人。那么我们是等他犯罪之后，来处理呢，还是说最好在他进行犯罪活动之前，就制止他？
重要的问题，我从一个，走向犯罪边缘的一个人，一个轻微的违法犯罪分子，我回到了正常的社会状态，成了一个遵纪守法的公民。
这边请，这是我们的餐厅服务实训班。
Pre-criminals in need, we're told, of job training.
主要培训学员铺床叠被。 打扫卫生。
How long does it take to learn how to make a bed?
有些学员是1-2个月就可以学会，有些学员3-4个月，最多的4个月就学会了。
Just to learn to make the bed, 4 months?
那个4个月的是特别少数，但是我们大多数学员就是2个月左右就学会了。咱们是为了改变我们学员里面的宗教极端思想，这样咱们的学员结业以后就可以直接到就业岗位去就业。
We would call that brainwashing.
没有那个完全改变他们的思想，我们就是为了让他们思想上的极端这个因素去除掉。
We are told that people are given some time off. 1 night's home leave each week, taken in groups on different days. Later, we find ourselves at the school gate at exactly the right time. One final question. I'm wondering why we don't see any students leaving or even preparing to leave.
就刚才我说了8点。
So in the next few minutes they will leave.
有的就是今天可能是咋说呢？ 有的天有回家的，有的没有回家的。
I mean, that seems a little odd. I mean, when we spoke earlier, you said that people left every day. Our government minders call the principal over. With our official tour now finished, we decide to return uninvited to one of the facilities we've already been shown. To our surprise, we find a large group of men waiting silently in rows just inside the gate. And then the buses start to arrive.
Let's follow that bus.
It is evidence that some people are given home leave. But it's also an insight into the scale of the system. This bus is full of men from just one village, where it disappears into a government compound. The men, it seems, are processed here before finally being given their freedom for the night, heading home on foot. For a few hours, they can leave this behind. Long after dark, the lights still burn, and the sound of thoughts being transformed echoes late into the night.